Hi, welcome to the online orientation for the Cybersecurity Workforce Certification Training Program, or CWCT for short. This is an online orientation for those of you who have been admitted to the CWCT program. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can get started. So the CWCT program is a consortium. Actually, let me go ahead and stop my video too so that I'm not blocking, hopefully, some important information on the screen. So okay. So the CWCT program is a consortium of four different universities. Those universities are Purdue University Northwest, Ivy Tech Community College, University of North Carolina Charlotte, and University of Tennessee Chattanooga. So there are program managers from each of the four universities, and each of you would have been assigned to a program manager to kind of help you along if you have questions, those types of things. Most of the coursework that you will be doing, or all of the coursework that you will be doing, is within the Ivy Tech Community College system. However, we want to make you aware that this is a consortium of the four universities because you may be getting emails from CWCT staff members who are from one of these four universities. So today in this online orientation, we will be doing a program overview and sharing. A lot of the information has already been shared with you during your application process, but just a little more specifics on how the program actually works, what you should expect of the program, some of our policies, those types of things. We're going to discuss the very important participation policy and what you need to do as a participant and a student to stay active in the program so that you do not get removed from the program. Some of the provided resources and support that this program offers, as well as a track of study overview and just the general courses you'll be taking in your track of study, the certifications that you can expect to get from those courses or expect to be prepared for the certifications for those courses. There's going to be a portion where some of the faculty will introduce themselves to you, what you should expect from this program, some of the stuff that they cover in their courses, those types of things. And very importantly, how you're actually going to access your coursework, how you're going to access your MyIvy account, how you're going to access your courses within Ivy Learn, and how you're actually going to watch your lectures, whether it be live or recorded in Zoom. So those are the things that we will be covering today in this online orientation. So let's start with the program overview. So first of all, there are three cybersecurity training paths offered in this program. When you were admitted, you chose one preferred track of study, and more than likely that is the track of study you were admitted under, whether it be artificial intelligence, digital forensics, or system administration. You were admitted only under one of those tracks of study. We're going to talk about those tracks of study a little bit later, as well as some questions that usually get brought up about whether you can do more than one. I will discuss that a little bit later. So you were admitted under one of these tracks of study. You can think of these tracks of study like a focus area, a concentration area. It's very similar to that. So within your track of study, your one track of study, you will take, well, or there are 6 non-credit college level courses per training path. So our courses are non-credit courses, which means that you are not getting college credit for these courses. But even though they are non-credit courses, they are still going to be of a college level, which is one very main reason that we have you take your English, math, and IT assessment in your application process. We need to make sure that you can perform at a college level for these courses. Now, if you already have some of the certifications that are in the track of study, you may get those courses waived. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, though. Our courses are all offered through live virtual lectures. This is not a self-pace where you just do homework whenever. And those live virtual lectures are 6 hours per week. Typically, they're going to be 2 days a week for 3 hours each. Okay. Now, we have participants from really all over the world because we have a lot of active duty military. We might have spouses of military that are deployed overseas. We have non-military, non-law enforcement, non-first responders who are located all over the United States. We have people from all over, as well as we have maybe some law enforcement and first responders that work really odd shift work where they may work a couple days and then be off a couple days. So we know that additionally, we cannot offer a classes at every single time frame available that students might be available. We just don't have the capacity to do that. So we know there are going to be some of you that cannot attend these live virtual lectures. That is okay. All of our lectures are recorded for you participants who cannot attend those live virtual lectures. We have no in-person offerings for this program. This is a 100% online virtual program via those live virtual lectures and submitting your homework through online resources. Okay. We have sessions that are 8 weeks long, and within those 8 weeks, you are going to be taking 1 to 2 courses per session. We do not allow participants to take more than 2 courses in an 8-week session. 8 weeks is a short amount of time. This program has a very big time commitment to it. Okay. So there will be 8 weeks of instruction, and then you're going to have a 1 week break, and then you do your next courses in the next 8 weeks, and then you have a 1 week break, and then you do another 8 weeks, and then you have a break, and then you may do another 8 weeks, depending on if you take 1 to 2 courses per session. Okay. We do not require you to take 2 courses per session. I'm going to talk a little bit later about the sessions remaining, though, where you may have to if you want to get the program done in the time frame that the time frame remaining in the program. Each course that you take may lead to an industry recognized certification. So in each track of study, there are going to be 4 to 5 certifications that may be earned per training path. So 4 to 5 of your courses will have an associated certification that could eventually lead to a voucher, or you taking the certification and paying out of pocket if you've used your available vouchers for this program. For this program, our grant, we can only guarantee 1 certification voucher per participant. So you're only guaranteed 1 voucher from us. A lot of the students will take advantage and keep that 1 guaranteed voucher for the most expensive certification within their track of study. You will get a cost list of those certifications. Once you pass your first classes and you get the instructions on how to claim the voucher, there will be a cost list in that you can then kind of decide whether you're going to save your voucher for a later certification or not. Your 1 guaranteed certification is whatever certification you request first. So if you take the A+ course and you request the voucher and you do what you need to do and request the voucher for the CompTIA A+, that's your 1 guaranteed voucher. Okay. Now you can request 2 additional vouchers for a total of 3, but you will only be provided those 2 additional vouchers if we have funding available, and we cannot guarantee that we will have that funding available. So save your voucher for, again, most will save it for the most expensive one, take that certification, and then they'll go back and maybe request some of those other vouchers to see if there's the funding available. Okay. Once you have completed all 6 of your courses, you will receive a certificate of completion from the program. This is not a college certificate. This is not a college associate's degree. It is just a certificate of completion since these are non-credit courses. Okay. So again, you're admitted under 1 track of study. You're only guaranteed 1 track of study. That's really important to know because I know some of you want to do more than 1 track. We can only guarantee you the courses within your 1 track of study. Okay. And as I already mentioned, there are 6 courses within your track of study that you need to follow and take following the established CWCT curriculum. We have a very specific order you have to take your classes in. So this means you can't just pick and choose which courses you want to take, do not want to take, what order you want to take classes in. You can't come to us and say, I want to take Security Plus first. There are prerequisites for the Security Plus course that you have to have first, and you have to follow the order. We have our curriculum set up for a very specific reason to make sure you're getting all the prerequisites that you need to stay on track. We cannot guarantee we're going to offer every single class, every single session, especially since we are drawing towards the end of it. Eventually we're going to stop offering those beginning classes because we'll only have a few sessions left and we're not going to need those classes anymore because we've stopped admitting people. So you need to follow the established prerequisites. I am going to go over a little bit later on those curricula, what order you need to take classes, those types of things. Now, if you already have the certification that the course prepares you for, so the most common example, if you already have CompTIA Security Plus certification, a valid, unexpired certification, you can get a waiver for that class. To get those waivers, we just need a copy of that. Most of you already provided that in your application process. If you did not, when you get your registration emails, it'll give you instructions on what you need to do to upload those if you had not already. Okay. Now, when you get a waiver, a direct waiver, you do not need to take a replacement course. It just means you have one less course you have to take. So you only have to take 5 courses instead of 6 because you are getting a direct waiver for that class. So it's considered that you have completed that particular course. Okay. We know things happen in our lives regardless of who you are. You will get 2 attempts to complete each course in your track of study. Only 2 attempts. That's all. We have limited funding. That's all our current funding can allow you to take is 2 attempts at your course. So if you don't pass it the first time, you get one final time to try to complete it. If you cannot complete a course in 2 attempts, you are removed from the program. We're not going to let you keep going because you will now have not met the prerequisites for your future classes. Okay. So it's really important that when you're in your classes, that you're getting them done. Especially also since we really do have limited time remaining in this program, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. Okay, so to stay active as an active participant in this program, you need to be participating in the program, and class participation is expected. So what does class participation mean? Participation is demonstrated by completing your quizzes, your labs, your homework, whatever your assignments may be each week for your assigned classes. I mentioned before, this is not a self-paced program. You will have due dates each week, and you need to be submitting your assignments by those due dates. You cannot wait until week 7 and 8 and say, oh, yep, I'm going to just knock out all these assignments right now. We don't allow that. Okay. If you cannot submit assignments in a week, you've got military training in the week, you have a large project at work, you're have health issues, whatever it may be. It is up to the instructor whether they will accept those late assignments, but you need to be talking to your instructor. Instructor communication is so key in this program. They are the ones that you need to be talking to about your courses. Okay. And then it's going to be, again, up to the instructor whether they will accept that late work. We are going to be checking about every 2 to 3 weeks if you have submitted assignments in that time frame. If you have not submitted assignments in that time frame, you'll be contacted by your program manager. And if there is still no assignments turned in after that contact, you will be removed from the course for not completing your weekly work. That will then count as one of your attempts for the class. So it is really important that you are submitting your assignments. And again, if you can't submit your assignments, that you are communicating with your instructor, that you are not waiting until week 6, 7, 8 to submit your assignments for an 8-week class. You need to make certain that you're either attending those live Zoom lectures, or if you cannot attend those live Zoom lectures, that you are watching the recordings for the program. If you cannot attend the live lectures, you just need to let your instructors know, just so they know, hey, I am still watching the recordings, I'm still active, I'm still going to be doing my assignments. Just let them know you don't expect to be attending the live lectures for whatever reason. Okay. Now, you may see in your grade book where there's attendance, like an attendance score. Instructors are supposed to turn that off. Attendance will be taken at the live virtual lectures, but it does not count as part of your grade. That is strictly for record keeping purposes. So we know who is or isn't attending the live lectures. We can see how students are doing who are attending live versus those who aren't, those types of things. So attendance will be taken, but it does not count as part of your grade. Okay. A big piece of this program is time commitment. The number one reason, when we know what the reason is, the number one reason students either withdraw from both of their courses or they go from 2 courses down to 1 course is the time commitment that this program takes. Okay. I previously mentioned that you will have 6 hours of just lecture time each week. That's just the lecture alone. That does not include any homework time. We recommend that or estimate that you are then spending a potential of 12 hours or more a week for homework for 1 course. It could be more, it could be less, just depending on the student. So for 1 course, if you add that 6 hours of lecture plus your 12 hours of homework time, that is 18 hours that you are dedicating to 1 class. If you are taking 2 classes, that is 36 hours a week. That is very close to a full-time job on top of other responsibilities that you might already have, such as your actual job, your military obligations, your family obligations, those types of things. So it is very important not to overcommit yourself and take more classes than you can manage with your work, family, military type obligations. Okay. You are not required to take 2 courses. Only take 1 if you can't commit time for 2. Or maybe you even just start with 1 for your first 1 or 2 sessions, and then you go up to 2. Especially with the limited number of remaining sessions we have left. But again, the number one reason that when we know what the reason is for withdrawal from a class, it is the time commitment. If you registered for 2 courses or you requested to take 2 courses and you now want to drop down to 1, please contact me. Send me an email. It's cduncan, DUNCAN 63 at ivytech.edu. If you requested an A plus course, that is the course you should remain in because it is the prerequisite for your cyber ops and your security plus, which are then prerequisites for other classes. That A plus course is really important for you to get done immediately right away so that you can move on in your other courses. So if you're taking 2 and can't commit the time and want to go down to 1, at least for your first session, send me an email, tell me which class you want to drop. Again, if you're in the A plus course, that's the one we recommend you keep. So I mentioned we have limited training sessions left. At the time of this recording, we have 4 sessions left, but those of you in our December cohort who may be watching this much later, I believe right now, December is probably the last cohort we will admit. So if you're in the October cohort, you will have 4 sessions left to complete 6 classes. So that means in at least 2 of the sessions, you are going to have to take 2 classes if you want to complete the program before it ends. If you are in the December cohort, that means you will only have 3 sessions left before the program ends. And if you wanted to finish all 6 courses, you would need to take 2 classes in each of those remaining 3 sessions. Okay. So if you are just starting, you may have to take more than one course to finish all 6 courses. Now, what's really important for me to mention, some of you just may absolutely not be able to take 2 courses. Okay, we understand that. We are still going to allow you to participate in this program, even if you cannot finish all 6 courses before before the program ends. So if you only get 4 classes done, that's fine. If you can only get 3 classes done, that's fine. You're at least still getting some of the basics and foundations and certifications to at least start that process of hopefully breaking into that cybersecurity employment, getting those promotions at work, getting those pay raises, and at least getting you started in this realm. Okay. Now, we also understand that students might need to defer because I'm having health issues. I just can't take any classes right now. I am being deployed. I can't take any classes right now. You can defer a session. So let's say you start in October, you want to sit out in December and start back up in March. That's fine. You can defer up to 3 sessions in a row. Now, we don't really have that many sessions remaining, but you can defer up to 3 sessions in a row before you are removed from the program for inactivity. Okay. We can't keep holding a spot for you if there is no intention of you taking classes. Okay. So we can only allow you to sit out for a certain amount of time. Our limited funding does not allow us to just keep you in the program indefinitely. Now, the question we always get, is there any chance that this program would be continued beyond these remaining sessions? We don't know that yet. It will depend on the availability of future funding, of new funding, of those types of things. So we just can't say. So as of right now, you should participate with the intention that our last session will be May to June of 2025, and that will be it. And then the program will essentially dissolve after that. Okay. So again, you can still participate in coursework even if you are not going to complete all 6 courses by the end of the funding period. So a lot of you may have seen this and saw, oh, a free cybersecurity training program. What's the catch? Because nothing's free. I want to go over exactly this grant-funded program, what we offer you and what we cover that you do not have to pay for that makes this program free. Okay, so first of all, those assessments you took in your application process, that English, that math, that IT assessment that everybody had to take and no one got waivers for, that was all free for you. That was all we covered the costs of those. Okay. That includes for the English and math, if you had to do any of the study paths, that was all free. And then if you had to do any of the training modules for the IT assessment, that was all free. And then if you used any tutoring available for those, that was also free for you. Okay. The other thing, those certification vouchers, we give you a voucher which cover one guaranteed voucher, which covers the test fees for one certification. Okay. As well as you could potentially earn up to 2 additional vouchers for a total of three, again, if the funding is available. So you could potentially get up to three certification vouchers from this program. You get that one guaranteed one. We do not require you to get the vouchers to move on in your coursework. All you have to do is pass the coursework to move on to eventually get your certificate of completion. So we do not require the certification vouchers. If you want to take, again, I had previously mentioned there are 4 to 5 certifications that you are trained for. If you want anything above the vouchers that we give you, you would have to pay out of pocket for those, but that is not to the CWCT program. That would be to a testing center to cover the cost of the test. So you would not be paying our program for that. If you want any additional vouchers above what you get from us, that would be your responsibility, but you are paying that to the testing center. Typically, Pearson VUE is who you're going to be making those tests through. Okay. Also covered your actual courses, that live virtual faculty instruction that you are getting. This is not self-learning. This is not watch these PowerPoints and then do the assignments. You are getting instruction from instructors who have been doing this, some of them for a long time, who have been in the field, who have experience with the cybersecurity realm. They teach students who do competitions, all those kinds of things. So you are getting the benefit of that live virtual faculty instruction with those courses and all the resources within the courses for free. Okay. Again, if you cannot attend the live lectures, they are recorded for you to then watch. And then I'm going to mention this on the next slide as well. We have what are called cybersecurity support analysts. Their email address is on here. They are there for possible tutoring that's covered for some classes and not all classes, but there may be some help there. They are there for some technical support for the resources that are used within the classes, or at least some of the resources that are used within classes. Most specifically, a lot of the classes will use what's called NDG NetLab. They are responsible for kind of maintaining that, as well as for some of the other classes, they will be maintaining and developing virtual machines that you will be utilizing in your courses. So that's all free. Utilizing those resources is all free. Finally, within your courses, most of our courses will just utilize like resources that we have access to through the Ivy Tech institution. So because we're an institution of higher education, we have access to Cisco NetAcad. We have access to the NDG NetLab through Purdue University Northwest. There are only 2 classes that actually use what would be considered a book, and that is going to be the ethical hacking course within your system admin track, or the digital forensics investigation course within the digital forensics track. Those are the only 2 that have actual books, and those are going to be PDFs. There is not a physical copy of those books. Those are PDFs that will be sent to you. But all of those resources and materials and those types of things, those are all free for you. Those are provided to you as a part of the course. You do not have to pay for those. So really the only thing that you might have to pay for, and it's not even to this program, is any of those additional certifications that you want to get where you can't get the voucher from us. Everything within our program itself is free. So what kind of support do we provide to you? Because we know with online programs, they may be a little more difficult because you're not physically there in person to maybe get some of that support. Okay, so I mentioned previously those cybersecurity support analysts are available to you for the tutoring, some of the technical support, that virtual machine maintenance. Some of the courses have graduate assistants or what are called supplemental instructors, or just somebody else there for assistance. In some courses, they're assigned that they may be able to support you in maybe some tutoring, figuring out the class. They may be like grading some assignments, those types of things. So they may be there. Again, it's not in all classes, it's just in some, may be available to you. You each have an assigned program manager, and that information would have been provided to you at the very beginning of your application process when you were provided the email with your MyIvy login information, your Ivy Tech, essentially student information, your assigned program manager information would have been in there. Each of you will receive also an email from your assigned program manager before the session starts. If you need a reminder on who that is, as well as if you are not participating, that's who you're going to get your phone calls from. But we are there to answer questions more generally about the program. If you have specific instructor class questions, that's where your instructors are a great support. And I've mentioned that previously. Your instructors are a key form of support in this program. And they are going to be much, much more willing to help you if you are communicating with them. If you have dropped off the face of the earth and you are then emailing them in week 7 saying, I need to submit late assignments, they are going to be much less likely to work with you because you now have 6 weeks. If you were not dropped for some reason, let's say you were communicating with them and you still never submitted an assignment, they're going to be much more willing to work with you if you have been communicating with them on what's going on. If you are having specific problems in the classes, your instructor is really who you should be going to first because, again, program managers do not have access to courses. We cannot see what's going on in there. We cannot really assist you. Your instructor is who you need to go to for your courses. Okay. What else do we provide you for support? We offer some flexibility. Unfortunately, with our limited funding, we can't offer unlimited flexibility, but we do, again, allow you 2 attempts to complete a course because we do know things happen. And again, we allow you to sit out for up to 3 sessions. Again, with the limited sessions remaining, that might not be as possible for you, or if you have to sit out 3 sessions, then you're at the end of the program type thing. So, but that's flexibility that we allow you to have. It's not a one and done because we do know things happen. But again, we also need to be made aware of what's happening. For a lot of our students, they just stop, not a lot. Our students who do not complete, they've just stopped showing up and we have no idea what happened to them because they just didn't email us they wanted to withdraw. They just stopped responding to our communication in general. After a while, if you are not responding to registration, those types of things, we're going to remove you from the program. Typically, it's if you do not respond 2 sessions in a row for registration, we're going to remove you from the program because we are assuming that you are no longer interested because you are not responding. Okay, so you need to make sure you're responding, or if you are just no longer interested, then just let us know you want to withdraw so we know what's going on. Okay, but we do have that flexibility for you. So we do not offer employment placement within this program in the format of this program that we have. However, we do want to provide you some support in trying to uh, get that next career, to get in employment within the cybersecurity world, those types of things. So what we really focus on is networking and providing you with workshops. We call them fireside chats, but they're employment, networking, job search type workshops where we're going to focus on a particular area to trying to just give you that support of what do you need to be doing to try to get a cybersecurity job, those types of things. So we have those. We have career fairs. These are going to be mostly career networking fairs. We don't always have employers coming to us saying, I have these 5 jobs open. It is more, here are some helpful tips on how you might be able to get a job with us, or here's how you network. But we do have specific employers as well as organizations that might come in and also be able to provide support for you. So you will get emails as we plan those. You'll get emails about those career fairs and fireside chats to allow you to start that networking and job searching and career searching and those types of things. But we do not do employment placement itself. Okay. So now let's talk about your training paths. I mentioned before that we have three training paths. That's your artificial intelligence path, your digital forensics path, and your system administration path. And I mentioned that you only are admitted under one training path upon your admission. You are only guaranteed to finish the 6 courses in one training path and one training path only. Now, here is a question that always gets brought up, even after I've answered it, even down the road once a student has completed. So please try to remember this. We always get the question, what if I do want to take additional courses? I know I'm only guaranteed one track in those 6 courses, but can I take additional courses outside of my track of study? The answer to that is maybe. Okay, we can never guarantee that you will be able to take additional courses outside of your track of study. If there is space during the registration period in a course, we might be able to allow a participant to take that as an additional course outside of your track of study. Okay, but we have had 1,000+ people admitted to this program. I think it's actually closer to like 3,000. Okay. Our courses are 50 students, typically is what the max is. And so not everybody is going to get an additional course, unfortunately. We just don't have the capacity to do that. Okay. You do not need to email me right now saying, I'm interested in taking additional courses. Put me on the list. That's not how it works. Okay. You need to take your required coursework first. Okay. If there is ever a session in which you are eligible to take an additional course, let's say like a very typical one is a system admin student who needs cyber ops but already has security plus. Okay. Cyber ops is the prerequisite for the last 2 courses in the system admin track. So in that situation, that student is only eligible to take Cisco cyber ops because they already have a waiver for system admin. In that case, their registration email would say, if you would like to request an additional course outside of your track of study, here's what you do. And you follow the instructions. Okay. Then there's a form that's filled out where you choose, I'm interested in this one, this one, this one, whatever it may be. Okay. It is typically then not until the week before classes start that we can determine if there's even room. Okay. So you do not need to email me saying, I want to take extra classes. When you are eligible for additional coursework, you will be notified that you are eligible for additional coursework and you will be provided instructions on how to request that additional coursework. Okay. If you email me right now saying I'm interested in additional coursework, I'm going to just email you back with what I just said. When you're eligible, you will be notified and you will be provided instructions on how to do that. Okay. If you are lucky and able to get additional coursework, the costs of that additional coursework will be covered by the grant. Okay. You do not get any additional vouchers on top of what you're already provided. You cannot get more than 3, no matter how many classes you take. Okay. So you get the one guaranteed voucher and the possible 2 above that one guaranteed voucher. That's it. You can take the coursework, so at least you're getting prepared for a certification that you can then pay yourself for the voucher. Okay. We cannot guarantee space in additional courses or guarantee completion of additional tracks of study. Okay. We have students who have been requesting additional coursework for session upon session upon session upon session, and we have not been able to get them into an additional course. So please do not rely on any additional coursework, especially since we are nearing the end of this program. So what kind of courses will you be taking within your tracks of study? Okay. First of all, there are 3 classes that are required for all 3 tracks of study. Oh, hold on. I apologize. Let me go back. Okay. There are 3 courses that are required for each track of study. That's going to be a CompTIA A+ course, a Cisco Cyber Ops course, and a CompTIA Security Plus course. It is not that you take those three classes first and then you take your other three. I'll show you the curriculums here. This is just showing you those are the three common core courses for all three tracks. And then within system admin, you're going to take a Linux class, an ethical hacking class, and a cloud system administration class. Within your digital forensics course, you're going to take also a Linux course, a digital forensics investigation course, and a computer forensics course. Within the artificial intelligence track, you're going to be taking a Python course, an introduction to AI, and machine learning foundations course. Okay. Now, and I'm going to go through this more specifically, kind of the curriculum, what order you will be taking things, what certifications kind of match up with each course, those types of things. If after hearing all that, you have decided you want to switch tracks of study, the earlier you can request that, the more likely it can happen. We are not going to allow you to make a change in your track of study in your last session. Okay. You've already now taken too many courses within that first track of study. We are trying to prevent people from playing the system where you take everything for system admin that you can, but you want to take Python too. So now I'm going to switch to the AI track of study. Okay. We can't allow it. So if you want to switch tracks of study, you can request it. We cannot guarantee that we will be able to provide that switch, but the sooner you can do it in your education with us, the more likely we might be able to make that change. So I'm going to talk about the three tracks of study. If you go to our website, www.cwct.us, there is, and you click on paths of study. If you click on each individual track, you can find this information. Okay. It says a sample session by session plan of study, but this is the curriculum that you will be following. Okay. So I already talked about the core courses and the three courses you'll be taking, but what order do you take those in? So on the website and in this PowerPoint that you will also get a copy of, it will tell you it's split up by three sessions as if you were going to take two courses a session. If you are only going to take one course a session, then you are essentially just going to follow this course by course. So if you're only going to take one course a session, you would take the A+ course first, and then you would take the Linux course, and then you would take the CyberOps course, and then you would take the Security Plus course. Because you have to keep in mind the prerequisites. You will see here for A+ and Linux, your prerequisite is just that you met the minimum requirement in those three assessments you had to take, which everybody would have to even get admitted. And then in the third column is what certification is this course preparing you for? So your CompTIA A+ course is going to prepare you for the CompTIA A+ certification. So for system administration, you're going to take the A+ course and the Linux course first, whether that's at one at a time or both, and that's going to prepare you for the A+ certification and the Linux Plus certification. Okay. In your second session or next, you're going to take CyberOps and Security Plus. CyberOps is a co-req for Security Plus or a prereq, which means for this particular track, which means you are going to need to take CyberOps at the same time as Security Plus or before Security Plus. Okay, so really, if you're only taking one class at a time, you need to take CyberOps first. Okay. Plus, you really need to take CyberOps first because it's a prerequisite for the next two classes. But your Security Plus is going to prepare you for the Security Plus. Again, this is probably the certification that a lot of you might already have. You will get a waiver for this course as long as you have submitted it to us in the proper format. So you just won't have to take that class. You'll move on to CyberOps. Okay. And then after you've taken all of that, you will take your cloud system admin and your ethical hacking course. We're probably going to recommend that you take the ethical hacking course first because that one has a certification to allow you time to claim that voucher or take that certification before the program ends, where the cloud class does not have that certification. That's going to be up to you. You can really do either one or the other as long as you've met the prereqs, but we're probably going to recommend that ethical hacking course first because of the associated certification. So next, let's talk about digital forensics. So your first two courses in digital forensics are actually the same as the system admin track. So it is fairly easy to switch from system admin to digital forensics or vice versa if you've just started the program with us because it's the same two courses. After that, it is a little harder to switch. But again, you're first going to take A plus in Linux, which prepares you for the A plus in Linux plus. Then you're going to take cyber ops and digital forensics investigation. In this track of study, cyber ops is a co-req prereq for digital forensics investigation, which means you need to either have cyber ops first or at the same time as your digital forensics investigation. So if you're going to only take one class, you'll need to have your cyber ops done first before you can take digital forensics investigation. Your digital forensics investigation is going to prepare you for the EC Council CHFI certification. Those EC Council certifications are your most expensive certifications. So in the system admin track, that is going to be the CEH certification. Within the digital forensics tracks, it's that CHFI certification. So the people in those two tracks, that's what they're saving their vouchers for, is those EC Council certifications. Okay. Then, after you've completed those two courses, you're going to take Security Plus and Computer Forensics. Again, with these, it doesn't really matter which order you do them in. If you're only going to take one course at a time, we're probably going to recommend the Security Plus because it prepares you for that Security Plus voucher. So again, you are having a little bit more time to claim your voucher if that's what you want to use your voucher for. Computer Forensic does not have a certification with it. Artificial intelligence is going to start off a little differently. You're still going to have that A plus course. That A plus course is super important. But instead of Linux, you're going to take Python because Python is going to be your basis for artificial intelligence. So that Python course is going to prepare you for the Python Institute Certified Associate in Python Programming, or the PCAP if you want to do the initials, but that's through the Python Institute. It's really important that you get your A plus done for your Security Plus and your Cyber Ops. It's really important that you get your Python done to actually take the AI courses. Then you are going to take Security Plus or Intro to AI. In this particular track of study, it's not going to be as imperative that you take that Cyber Ops first. And we actually recommend you take the Security Plus first, only within this track of study. Because this track of study also used to have an IoT course with it, which we are hoping to eventually offer again. Right now we cannot, but IoT has a Security Plus prerequisite, which is why we kind of put that Security Plus first in this track of study as opposed to that Cyber Ops. Cyber Ops is a little more beneficial to also understand Security Plus, which is why we tend to put it as a co-req. But in this particular track of study, because of the way the curriculum is set up, you're going to take Security Plus and Intro to AI. This one, it's really going to depend if you're only taking one course at a time, which one you choose. That Security Plus again leads to the Security Plus certification. So if you're going to use a voucher, you may want to do that one first. But then your Intro to AI is a prerequisite for the Machine Learning Foundations course. So we'd probably again recommend the Security Plus first and then your Intro to AI. And then once you're done with those, that's when you'll take your cyber ops and your machine learning foundations. Again, you'd probably want to take cyber ops first because it has that associated certification, and then your machine learning, which does not. Now, what happens in each of these courses? Again, I'm not the expert on that. If you go to our website, there should also be a link for course descriptions that will kind of give you an overview of what is discussed in each of those courses. So if you go to, again, www.cwct.us, and click on course descriptions, I believe is what it is. You can read course descriptions on these courses now that you know. Please remember what I mentioned very early on in the orientation. You cannot pick and choose what order you take these classes. What I just discussed is the order you have to take them. There is some flexibility if you're only taking one course at a time, but we do, when you're only taking one course at a time, in your registration email, it will give you a recommendation as to which course we recommend you take with that one course. And we really recommend you stick with that recommendation so that you stay on track. Okay, so I think, hi everyone, Chrissy again. In this recording, I'm going to discuss two big pieces of technology you will be using as a participant in this program. You've actually already used both of these pieces when you went through the application process to access your assessments, but I'm going to discuss more closely how they will relate to your participation in your courses. Because remember, in my previous video, I talked about how important your participation was. While this program is made up of the consortium of the 4 universities, as previously discussed, the Ivy Tech system is what you're actually going to be using to complete your courses and the program. So tonight we will be looking at MyIvy, which is your student portal, and we're going to be looking at Ivy Learn, which is how you actually access your courses for your virtual lectures, some of your coursework, your syllabus, etc. So again, I'm going to turn off my video and share my screen so that I can walk you through this. Okay, so there will be let me share my screen. So there are several different ways to get to both MyIvy and Ivy Learn. The first is through the main Ivy Tech website, which is just www.ivytech.edu. At the top of this page, you will see links for both MyIvy, which is right here in the middle. Let me make this bigger. So up here at the top is MyIvy, and then right next to it is Ivy Learn. So that is one way that you can get to them. And you just click on it and log in. The other way is to go directly to MyIvy. So you can also get to MyIvy by going directly to the website. It's going to be myivy.ivytech.edu. And this is how you will also access Ivy Learn. I recommend that you bookmark this page for easy access, as you will be able to access Ivy Learn once you enter MyIvy. So you're going to need to log in to your MyIvy account. I have mine saved. You always need to make sure you're putting in your Ivy Tech email address when it asks for your email address. Almost always when people claim that they are having issues, that it's not allowing them to log in, it is because they are putting their personal email instead of your Ivy Tech email. So you need to log in. And just note that Ivy Tech does not keep records of your password. So if you've forgotten your password, on that main login page, there was a reset or forgot password link on that login page. If you are locked out of your account, the CWCT program cannot unlock your account. You would have to call the Ivy Tech help desk, which is 1-888-IVY, IVY, line, LINE. They're available 7 days a week with extended hours above the typical business hours. So even if you're overseas, you should be able to reach them. Okay, so again, CWCT cannot unlock your Ivy Tech account. Okay, so your MyIvy portal will look slightly different than mine as far as which links are displayed, because you have a student view while mine is actually a mix between student and a staff view, mostly staff view. But the concepts I'm about to discuss with you will be the same. So there are essentially 2 big pieces you want to become familiar with within MyIvy. A lot of links that you see may not even be applicable, since these courses are workforce training courses and are non-credit courses. For example, if you come across a link that says my schedule, You will not see your schedule if you click on that, because non-credit courses do not show up on your schedule. That is why when you are registered, I sent you a confirmation email with the courses that you registered for. If you did not get that confirmation email, check your spam, promotions, check all your folders, because it probably went to one of those folders instead of your inbox. But that is why we send you your schedule, because there's no way to find it through your MyIvy since it's a non-credit course. So the two big pieces you will want to know are how to access Ivy Learn and how to access your student email. As a participant, both of these should be listed in this middle quick links section. Again, it is not on mine because mine is mostly staff. Okay, so they should be listed in this quick links section. However, if you do not see them in your quick links section, you can either search for it up here by just typing MyIvy, and then you can click on it here, or you can search Ivy Learn and you could click it here. So that's one way you could just search for it. Or if you click on See All in your quick links, these are listed in alphabetical order. You can go scroll down. Here's Ivy Learn. And here is MyIvy. Student email is what the other one will come up under. Hold on. Here we go. Student email. Okay. So you need to look for Ivy Learn and student email as your two. And then you can click on the little heart next to it to add it to your favorites, so that if they are not in your quick links, if you add the heart, then they will come up here in your My Favorites. I think the favorites only lists 5, but you can also click up here in the upper right where it says My Favorites if you have more than 5 things favorited. Okay. So those are the two big pieces you need to know in MyIvy. So due to student privacy laws, it's called FERPA, okay, your Ivy Tech email should be the email you are using to communicate for this program. It has to deal with your student privacy. We need to make sure that it's actually you emailing us and requesting certain things to be processed. We cannot share your educational information with other people. So by sending it to your Ivy Tech email, it ensures that student privacy a little more. So it is important, please be checking your Ivy Tech email on a regular basis. I cannot stress that enough. That is how your registration will come to you. That is how important emails from your instructor should come to you. That's how important emails from your program managers will come to you. Be checking your Ivy Tech email. Occasionally, we will send a courtesy email to your personal email, maybe saying, hey, check your Ivy Tech email, there's important information in there. However, we don't have to do that. We don't always do that. So be checking your Ivy Tech email, please. Okay. Now, your Ivy Tech student email is run through Gmail. Okay. So when you click on student email, it will take you to Gmail. Oh, it'd help if I spelled student right. I'm going to show you here. So student email. Okay. Now mine is completely blank because as a staff member, mine is run through Outlook. But if you see, when you click on student email, it takes you to your Ivy Tech email address, which is run through Gmail. Now, what happens sometimes is if you have a personal Gmail account where you have your password already saved, when you click on that student email link, it may take you to your personal email account. Okay, instead of your student email. So if this happens, you'll either need to log out of your personal Gmail account and then log in with your Ivy Tech email, which is that Ivy Tech email address, same password. Or what I personally recommend is adding an account in Gmail so you can easily access both your personal and student emails. You can easily Google how to add an account in Gmail if you don't know how to do that already, because there might be a slightly different directions based on if you're using your mobile device, if you're using a computer, what browser you're using, all of that good stuff. So keep that in mind, please. Okay. Also, and then that way too, by adding that account, you can go back and forth between your personal and your Ivy Tech email, either in your web browser or even in the Gmail app, so that you can access your Ivy Tech email through the Gmail app on your phone. Now, the big piece I know you've all been waiting for. How exactly do you complete your virtual classes? How do I do this, Chrissy? Where do I go? What do I need to do? Okay. Again, your courses will be accessed through Ivy Learn. So all you'll need to do is you'll just need to click on the Ivy Learn. This one is in my quick links, and it should be in your quick links as well. Or again, you can access it through that main Ivy Tech website, or you can even just type in the direct email address, which is just ivylearn.ivytech.edu. So you can get to Ivy Learn in 3 different ways. Okay, so I'm going to click on Ivy Learn. So when you go into Ivy Learn, on the left-hand side, you will notice, and one thing I want to talk about is this inbox menu item. Okay, this is not the same thing as your student email. Okay, this is more like a direct messaging platform so that you could directly message your instructor within the course itself, possibly even your fellow classmates within the course itself. This is directly linked to your actual coursework within Ivy Learn. Okay. So if we say check your Ivy Tech email, you know, some people say I've never gotten a single message in my Ivy Tech email. It's because they're checking this inbox. Okay. So they're 2 different things. So please keep that in mind. Okay. You can set it up in your preferences, like under your account, where you can get in, like if you compose a message in the inbox, or if you get a message sent to you within the Ivy Learn system, you would then get an email to your Ivy Tech email. But like you can't email your program managers through this inbox. You can't email, you know, Amber through this inbox because we are not associated with one of your classes. Okay. So, but if you go in and compose a message, you can, you know, essentially you select whatever course you want to compose the message to. I haven't taken a course in a while. Let's say I go to here, and you can kind of see, you know, you would click on the course and you'd say, okay, I need to email the teacher, and then the teacher's name would come up, and then you type it, and so on and so forth. But like if your program manager is Steve Olson, you would not be able to go in and just type in Steve Olson's email address. You'd have to do that through your Ivy Tech email. Okay, so that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Okay. All right, so your courses will either be listed on your dashboard, which is under this dashboard link, or you can get to them if you click on the courses link. Okay. So one important thing to mention is that the courses will not appear in either of these places until the Friday before the session begins. So the session begins on Monday, June 6th. The courses will not appear in Ivy Learn here until Friday, June 3rd. Okay, and that is for all courses, regardless of if they start on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Saturday. It used to be that it would open 48 hours before the first lecture day. Depending on what day the lecture was, it opened 48 hours before that. They have changed that where they now all open on the same day, regardless of the start. So you're not even going to see your course listed until Friday, June 3rd. Okay. Now, if you get on here on Friday, June 3rd, so like if you go in there right now, you're not going to see your courses listed. You are still registered for them. You're just not going to see them listed. Now, if you go in here on Friday, June 3rd, and you still do not see it listed, it is probably because the instructor themselves has not published the course yet. Okay, so there's one way that you can look at this on your dashboard. If you simply scroll down, you can see it listed under unpublished courses. Okay, so this means, oh, hey, it's there. The instructor just hasn't published it yet, please be patient. That probably means the instructor is making some final touches on it, and it will go live before your actual class session starts. Okay, so if you're not seeing it on Friday, June 3rd, see if it's listed under those unpublished courses on your dashboard. Or if you click on courses, if you go scroll down to where it says all courses, you can then see if it's published or not. And if it is not published, it will say, no, it's not published. Okay, so please check on that before you email us saying, I don't see my class, I'm not registered for classes, because most of the time it's simply that the class is not published yet. I verify all registration, 400 plus registrations before each session begins. So the chance of it being because you're not registered is going to be very slim. It's going to be because it's not published yet. Okay. Again, though, please be patient. It should be published before the start of your classwork. It might even be that day. So even if it's in the morning and it's still not published, please, again, just be patient until that instructor publishes it. Okay, so I'm going to use one of my past courses and as an example to show you what the course will actually look like. So I'm going to go in here to a Linux course I took way back in the fall of 2020. So it's been a while since I've taken it. Okay, so your course, now mine was a 4-credit course, but your non-credit course will look very, very similar to this. Okay, so on here, you know, this was the course name. Now yours will probably, instead of a BI, yours will say T. That does not mean it's a Tuesday, Thursday. That means it's a traditional class. It's the type of class that it is. Okay, mine was online / on campus one. I can't remember even what BI stands for now, but don't get confused if it's a Monday, Wednesday class and you see TR here. That does not stand for Tuesday, Thursday. That's just the type of class it is. Okay, so in the menu here on the left, you will see all the menu items. So you want to make sure you're reading your course announcements, which is under your announcements tab. You want to carefully read the syllabus under the syllabus tab. The modules tab is where you will go to look and see, what do you need to be doing each week? You know, what do I need to do in week 1? What do I need to do in week 2? Now, many of these classes use external programs that you might not actually be doing the coursework in Ivy Learn. We use a thing called NetAcad, we use a thing called NetLab. You might be using an actual Red Hat system to do your the Linux class. Getting access to those will be either the instructions on how to access those will either be in your announcements in your syllabus. They might be emailed to you. If you go in and let's say, hey, you have an account through Red Hat and you go in and try to make it and you're getting an error message, wait until your course starts before you make your account, because your instructor is going to tell you exactly what you need to do to access that account. Okay, I know a lot of you may be, you know, really excited to start, and so you want to get in there and get started early. A lot of the times you just need to play it cool and wait until your first class to do some of this stuff. Okay, but you would see, like under week 1, you know, here's the agenda, here were my assignments, here's the PowerPoint. Yours may look different as far as what exactly is in there. Okay, now there may be some coursework in here. Again, it's going to depend class to class. Okay, all right, so the big piece you need to know for your virtual classes is to not only how to access your live lecture via Zoom, but also the recorded Zoom lectures in case you cannot make it to the designated day and time. So to access your lectures, all you are simply going to do is click on this Zoom link right here. That's all you need to do, okay? And then it will have the upcoming meetings. I, of course, don't have any because this class was back in 2020. So I don't have any upcoming meetings listed, but all your future course meetings should be listed with a link that you can click on to go into that lecture. Okay, there is also a tab for previous meetings. Again, because this was so long ago, I don't have anything in there anymore, but this should list all of the class sessions that have already happened. And there should be a way for you to view the recording on that page, as well as under cloud recordings. You will see here are all the cloud recordings of this class I took. And all you would simply do is figure out, okay, which one did I miss? Which one do I need to watch? Find that date, click on it, and you will have your recording. Okay, so this is where you will go to find your upcoming meetings, your previous meetings, as well as the cloud recordings. Okay, now if on the first day you go in here and there are not any Zoom pieces listed, there's not any Zoom meetings listed in there, it could be that it might be listed in the announcements. It could just be they haven't finalized that part yet, but many times the instructor will put the link in the announcements. It might be in your syllabus, so check your syllabus, or the instructor could have even emailed it to your Ivy Tech email. So if you don't see the links listed here, check the announcements, check the syllabus, check your Ivy Tech email. It could be in there for that first day of class. Okay. So just remember, you can go back and watch those recorded lectures. And then also remember that the program managers on your first day of class, if you're having issues accessing anything, please remember that your program managers and your support staff will more than likely not be available to assist you like at the time that the class happens, because it's out of normal business hours. Okay, so if you send us an email, you're probably not going to get a response until the next day. So the person you really need to contact is your instructor. Their contact information should be listed in the syllabus, or you can message them through that inbox, choose your class, choose that instructor, and message them. But they are typically going to be the ones that you have to contact if you're having issues getting in that first day. And then remember, if you do have issues getting in that first day, you can't reach somebody, remember that you can then always watch the recording the next day, even if you miss it. Okay. Final thing, Ivy Learn is powered by a company called Canvas, Canvas. Okay, there is a Canvas app that can be downloaded on your phone. You just have to put in your Ivy Tech as the institution, use your Ivy Tech, email address, those types of things. So this is really nice because it has a calendar that you should be able to see when assignments are due. It's probably not ideal for actually doing any coursework within it, but you can look at the modules, you can look at your syllabus, you can look at the calendar to see what's due. I believe you can still, your inbox is in there, so you can message your instructor. Those types of things is really good. That the app is really good for that. Okay, so yeah, you'll just need to use your Ivy Tech information to set up that app. Okay, hopefully if you had any questions, they were either answered, or again, if you put them in the chat, hopefully one of the other CWCT members can answer them for you. So again, have a good rest of the night. Enjoy the rest of your orientation. We look forward to working with you, and good luck with your upcoming session.